All right, welcome back. Hononegah Honors Algebra 2, 13-1, Day 3, or Part C. We're really going to dive deep into now writing the equation. So I'm going to give you pieces of information about the parabola, and then you're going to have to write the equation based on that. So I'm going to write out the equations here real fast. So if you have a y equals parabola, if you have an x equals parabola, and then the formula for P is actually also important. Because a lot of times, if I know the distance from the vertex to the directrix, things like that, and I also know which direction it is. So the first one, the y equals is obviously any up and down parabola. The x equals is any left and right parabola. And then the P is obviously the distance from the vertex to the directrix. So again, these are pieces of information that you are going to need to know for today. As we talk about this. So write the equation of the parabola pictured. So we have a downward parabola, and I see that the vertex is at 0, 0, so that's important. And I know it's a downward parabola from the picture. And my p-value, so the distance from the directrix, is 3. So now I can figure out A just by that. So if P is 3, and I know that, so 12A, A would have to be 1/12. But I also know it's a negative 1/12 because it's a downward parabola. So here we go. Y equals negative 1/12. Now, if you wanted to write x minus 0 squared and 0, that's okay. I wouldn't count that wrong. But ultimately, all you need is y equals negative 1/12 x squared. Next one. Write the equation of the parabola with the vertex at 0, 0. So again, if you can get the vertex, that saves a lot of problems, and a focus at negative 4. So I'm going to sketch this. So I've got a parabola that's at 0, 0, and a focus at negative 4, 0. So what kind of parabola do we have? It's a left parabola. I know that because ultimately the vertex and the focus in that direction. So P would equal 4. So 1 over 4a is equal to 4. 16a multiplied by c. A would equal 1/16. Now I also know now it's a negative 1/16 because it's going to the left. So x is equal to, so we got an x equals parabola, negative 1/16. And now we have the same dilemma we had previously. So because the vertex happens to be at 0, 0, then I can put the zeros in, or I could leave them out, and it's still correct. Write the equation of the parabola of the vertex. All right, so finally we're off the origin now. So a vertex at negative 1, 4, and a focus at negative 1, 2. I highly recommend a sketch. So negative 1, positive 4. There's your vertex. Negative 1, positive 2 is your focus. So we're talking again about a downward parabola with a p-value equaling 2. So how do I get a p-value of 2? Well, that would mean 8a equals 1. I multiply both sides by 4a. Divide by 8, a would equal 1. 8. So it's a downward parabola. Vertex, so we're talking about a y equals parabola of a value of negative 1/8 because it goes down. X plus 1, that's the x value of the vertex, and 4 because that's the y value of the vertex. So again, write the equation based on the information that I am given. And the p value is important for this particular section. Write the equation of the parabola with a focus at negative 1, 2, and a directrix at x equals negative 3. All right, so again, I think a sketch is very important here. So I have an x equals negative 3, so there's my directrix. I have a negative 1, positive 2 focus. So I don't know the vertex at all. Well, the vertex has to be the point that is exactly the same distance away from both of them. So the vertex in this case has to be at negative 2, positive 2. So again, exactly between the directrix and the focus point would be the vertex. Now, I know the vertex. I also can figure out P. P is the distance from the vertex to the directrix or from the vertex to the focus point. With that being said, 1 over 4a equals P. A must be a fourth. So now I have enough information to write my equation. It's an x equals parabola. I know that because of where the focus point is. So we're talking about an x equals parabola. Positive 1/8 is your a value. Y minus 2 squared minus 2, because that would be the y value of the vertex, and this would be the x value of the vertex. An archway in the front of a school is in the shape of a parabola. The top of the arch is at 0, 0. The school seal is at the focus point 2.5 feet below the vertex. And the arch is 18 feet wide. 18 feet across. This is the point 0, 0, the vertex. And the p value to the Indian head there, a p value of 2.5. So let's start with the a value. 2.5 would equal 1 over 4a. Multiply by 4, I'd get 10. I don't know why I put an a there. Multiply both sides by 4a. Divide by 10. So a is 1/10. It's a downward parabola. So the equation for this would be y is equal to negative 1/10 x squared. And if you went x minus 0 quantity squared plus 0 at the end there, that would also work. Now, you're probably wondering why in the world would I want to know that this is 18 feet across? All right, here we go. What is the height? How tall is the arch? Well, here's what I do know, okay? All I know is how far it is across. I actually don't know anything about how tall it is. So what I do know is if I did an axis of symmetry all the way down here, this is the point negative 9 something, and this is the point positive 9 something. So I do not know anything other than that. I want to figure out what that something is. Well, if I have the equation and I know an x value, then I can figure out the y value for that point. So you're talking about negative 81 times 10, or negative 81 tenths. So now, if that is the point negative 9, negative 81 tenths, then how high is that? Well, positive 8.1 feet. Your homework assignment is another worksheet. And the entire chapter is a worksheet because we're out of the book right now. Worksheet 13.1C or 13.1 Day 3 worksheet. If you have any questions, please make sure you talk to your teacher, and good luck.